Hi, I'm DigitalFemme and welcome to my channel. June the 21st and it's Father's Day. So I guess this video is really going to be about my dad. And you're probably thinking, oh, why would I even want to listen? But if you're the least bit interested to know what I'm going to say about my dad, then please continue watching. Hi, I'm glad you stayed. Now, I consider myself very, very lucky because number one, I love my dad. And number two, I've always been able to count on my dad, no matter what. Oh, I'm getting really teary now. So I think my dad had me when he was 24 years old, and then he went to Canada by himself, not unlike any other immigrant coming to a country for a better opportunity. But when I imagine my dad being alone in a country that was so foreign to him, and I would hear the stories and adventures he had just getting started, it's quite adorable, and yet I can't just imagine what he went through. So I know that there are people that don't have really good relationships with their father, or their father wasn't around. My father was always around, and the one thing I knew was that my dad was totally committed to being a father and a husband. So as I was growing up, and I would envision the type of husband I would have eventually in the future, I always envisioned somebody completely opposite my father. Years later, I realized that I didn't want someone opposite my father. I actually wanted someone exactly like my dad. And the reason why is because my father never failed my expectations. Whether I had them or not, he always came through. So the majority of my dad's life, he worked as a postal worker for Canada Post. He was probably at Canada Post for, I don't know, like maybe 30, 40 years. And I know that every morning my dad would get up at like 5 in the morning. That little clock of his would ring, and he would like go through his routine. He would walk to the bathroom, I could hear it, put on the light, take a shower, go downstairs to the other bathroom, comb his hair, and do whatever he does, and then goes back up, puts his uniform on, and then goes out, makes coffee, has some breakfast. You could hear him shuffling, and then the garage door would open, and then the car would back out, the garage door would close, and there you have it. And that was like almost every day. And if there was a holiday like Mother's Day or Valentine's Day or Christmas, my dad would always work overtime. And it's not like we didn't see my dad. We saw my dad. We absolutely did. He was actually a very present dad. I realized that he never called in sick. He never complained. I never heard my dad complain, or my mom. And that's pretty amazing, to never hear your parents complain. My dad never complained about anything, and neither did my mom. And I'm just realizing that is so amazing. We weren't wealthy. Maybe we were lower middle class. We weren't poor by any means. However, I know that there were things that as I was growing up, I kind of wanted, really, and my father always kind of like found a way to get it for me. One thing was I really wanted to take piano lessons. I think I was in grade 2, and there was an announcement about taking piano lessons after school, and I really wanted to take piano lessons. So I joined by myself, and I got in trouble because I didn't come home the time I should have. And then they found out that, I was like doing a piano lesson class after school. And it was funny because we were all given a cardboard keyboard, and that's what we were practicing on. And I don't know how long I'd be practicing on that. You know what? I wasn't in grade 2. I was grade 4. My mom and dad, they knew we couldn't afford a piano, but I was so insistent about, I need a piano. I really need a piano. Obviously, I couldn't, there was only so much you could do with that cardboard keyboard. And so yeah, we went and they got me a piano. I think it was a Heinzman, and there you go. I also remember being in track and field. I started track and field when I was grade 2, and then I continued being in track and field and to high school. And then when I was in grade 9, I joined the track team, and I really wanted these running shoes, and they were called Osagas. And I told my dad, like, this is high school. This is high school track and field. It's a whole other level. I need new running shoes. And we couldn't really afford it. And I think he took me, and we went, and I just loved those sagas because they were like a blue color with a red stripe. And they were like, I think $89 at the time. Back then, $89 for a pair of running shoes was like insane. But he got them for me. And I know he was the one that would take me to my piano lessons or an exam at the Royal Conservatory of Music. He would take me, and he would sit in and just be there. And I just realized now that these things were either on Saturdays or during the weekday. I don't even remember, but he would take the time out to do that. And another thing, when I would have track meets, if he could, he would go. Yeah, I mean, my dad did really so much. Now, it's not to say my mom wasn't there for me. She was always there for me. I mean, my mom is a whole other video. And my mom is like amazing. She's just amazing. But this is Father's Day, so I'm talking about my dad. My dad can sing. I think that's one of the biggest impacts in my life are songs. As long as I can remember, probably when I was in my mom's womb, my dad was singing. And he would sing like Frank Sinatra songs, Matt Monroe, all those songs, like the swooner songs of the like 50s and 60s or late 40s, like things like From Russia with Love, or Tony Bennett's I Left My Heart in San Francisco. And I grew up hearing those songs, and I think that set my outlook in life in a way that was hopeful, romantic, because of the songs. And it was almost like all the songs that I've heard my dad sing in some way, themes of them integrated into my life, and that's another video. So the thing that I always love about my dad was his singing, and he still sings today. Like, like he could, people would ask him to sing at weddings or events, or he's just always singing. He plays the guitar, he plays the piano, and I really wish I had his voice. I don't know why. Supposedly Filipinos are really good singers. I'm not one of them. Go figure. I don't want to go on and on about my dad because I definitely can, but I just want to wish him a very happy Father's Day. And Dad, you probably don't know I have a YouTube channel. I might send you the link to this video, but I just want to say that I know I'm not there with you, and I know that I was like not really around because I moved to Texas and then I moved to Germany. So, and I remember the time when I was moving out, I think I was 24 years old, just like your age, because I was married and I had to move to another place to be with my then husband. And I know that as I finished moving the stuff out of my bedroom and I went to the den where you were watching TV, I said goodbye to you, and you were crying. And I'll never forget that. And I don't like it when you cry. But the one thing I love about you is that you do cry, and you're not afraid to show your emotion. And Dad, you are the strongest man I know. Not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically. All the things that you've gone through, Dad, you've gone through them with grace. And you were so poised. And I love you so much. And I cannot ask for a better dad.
Happy Father's Day, Dad. And happy Father's Day to everyone out there. It's not an easy role. Neither is motherhood, but just happy Father's Day. I love you, Dad. I love you, Amado Villadar. Bye.